Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And we just did a blind head-to-head between these two high-proof Jim Beam bourbons, Booker's and Knob Creek Single Barrel. Is Booker's worth twice the price? Stay tuned to find out.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
We're not professional whiskey tasters, but we will randomly select one of these pairs from our sample pool. We'll taste them totally blind to remove all possible bias from the label, and we'll give you our honest opinions.
We won't know what's in either glass, but you will, and you can find all that in the description box below, plus timestamps for this whole video.
You'll see us discuss the things that are important to us in whiskey, the taste, the price, and the availability, and whether we'd buy it again or not. In the end, we'll give each pour a real-world score. That's what we call it, at least, a real-world score. And all that is entirely informed by what we learned during this blind tasting. All right, let's do our random selection.
All right, what are we drinking tonight?
Let's see, which pair of these 18? 14. So 18, 17, 16, 15, 14.
Ooh, they look dark.
It'll be these two. We're going to get this cleaned up. We're going to get those poured, and we'll be back with our first impressions on both of these glasses. All right, first impressions on glass one.
Oh.
She proofy and sweet.
I just get like astringent.
I'm getting a lot of appley sweetness on this.
I'm getting apple, yeah. Like apple juice.
Yeah, like straight up sugar apple proof.
Yeah.
Sugar apple proof.
Oh my gosh.
She packs a wallop.
Oh my gosh.
She packs a wallop. Ooh. That is big flavor. I'm going to have to process that one for a minute.
It tastes kind of like Apple Jacks.
Yeah. I can get that grainy note that you're getting in there, but it's got like a dark chocolate on the finish. I'm getting kind of bitterness on the finish, but not in a bad way. It's just like a bitter note that's kind of hitting me on the fich there.
It's just a lot.
It's a lot.
She's a lot to handle.
It's a lot. If you ever meet somebody and you're like, wow, they're a lot.
That's what this is.
That's what this is. All right, let's get into glass two. This is also very proofy, but darker smelling.
What am I smelling? It smells familiar, but I can't pinpoint what I'm smelling.
This is really proofy. It's got a little bit of appley sweetness like the first glass, but not so much bright sugar apple, more deep dark.
What is it? It's gonna bother me.
I'm getting into the taste. Okay. I'm not waiting.
Okay. This punch is like on the back end.
Yeah, it comes in deeper, darker flavors,
but then like
heavier on the back end.
Then it's like bam.
The oak on glass one was a little bit more on like the dark chocolate side, whereas the oak on the back end on this one is more just rich, kind of neutral, not quite so bitter. These both seem to have a lot of proof on them.
Yeah.
They're quite a bit different.
This one hurts more at the end.
Yeah?
Yeah, a little bit.
Is it that lingering?
It's down here.
Yeah. It is more of a hug right in the chest. I'm feeling it myself right in here. But these are both, to me, being someone who likes higher proof stuff, these are both really good. They're not hitting me as super astringent. They're just, the flavor's really big. The hug is really big. It'll be interesting to spend some time comparing these two. But that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take some time to clear our palates out, really go back to back with these and see which one we prefer. We'll be back with a full tasting discussion right after this. So after spending some time with both of these, what do you think? Where are you at on glass one?
Oh, Josh, this was a rough one for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it the proof that made it rough?
I think so. And then I think as I drank them, they both just kind of seemed the same. Like they both hurt me in the same way. So, and this was the first time you finished your scoring before I finished mine.
Literally the first time.
Has never happened before in the history of this
4 or 5
channel.
months of the channel.
So, okay. All that to say, glass one, I did give it a thumbs up on the nose. It had a cool, like, apple juice smell. I gave it just okay on the flavor because, as we said, she's a lot. But I did give it a thumbs up on experience because I liked the fact that I knew that she was a lot up front. Like, she did, like, it hit me a lot up front and it didn't wait till the end and, like, catch me by surprise. Like, she was honest. She was truthful. I I knew what I was getting, so yeah, she got a thumbs up on overall experience.
That's fair. I mean, that's what can you say? What can you say? I'm speechless.
What can you say?
I'm speechless.
What do you think
about Glass One?
Yeah,
I've never heard a better synopsis of whiskey ever than what you just gave on Glass One. So this is going down in the annals of whiskey history.
All right.
For me, for Glass One, I gave it a thumbs up on the I'm sorry. I'm so offbeat here. I gave it 2 thumbs up on the nose.
Whoa.
Yeah. After I
Dang.
spent some time with it, there was a caramel apple sweetness. It did have some astringency to it, but there was just a lot of caramel apple sweetness. There was a lot of depth. It smelled literally like a caramel apple to me.
I didn't get the caramel, but I got the apple.
Like if you take a caramel apple, candy apple, and then drench it in moonshine, that's what it smelled like to me.
All right. Fair.
On the flavors, I gave it thumbs up. I said that it had a general sugary sweetness. It probably would have got 2 thumbs up from me, honestly, but there was a little bit of a drying oak element there that I didn't love. And then on the experience, I gave it 2 thumbs up. It was also really good, big oak, and then it did have a bitter note on the end of it, but it was like a bittery dark chocolate note, which I really enjoyed. I mean, almost every night we have a little square of bitter dark chocolate.
Or two.
Let's be honest. It's 2.
It's 2.
But yeah, a little bit of dark chocolate with sea salt, and that glass reminded me of that. So that was really good. Where are you at on Glass 2?
Okay. So for Glass 2, it got just okay on the nose for me because it didn't smell as good to me as the first one.
Interesting.
That's honestly why I said just okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got just okay on the flavor. And I don't remember why I put that. I feel like I just didn't like it as much as the first one.
That's very fair.
But overall, for the overall experience, it got a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I liked it overall. That being said, it did surprise me and kind of hurt me at the back end, which I didn't like. It was like the other shoe finally dropped. It's like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it dropped.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's like what's it when you have a concert and they come back out? They leave and then they come back out?
Encore.
An encore. Glass 2 has an encore.
But no, encores are usually good. This wasn't good.
It was good to me.
It wasn't good to me.
It was good to me.
I didn't like it. I like, if you're gonna hurt me, just hurt me and get it over with. Like, don't pretend you're gonna be nice and then hurt me later. Just like get it over with, let me cry, and then I'm good.
Would you like to share your notes on your paper that I saw? The very first thing you wrote before your scoring?
Sure. So
Glass 1, you said.
Before I gave it any thumbs, on Glass 1 I said ouch. And then on Glass 2 I said double ouch.
Yeah.
So Glass 1 hurt me. Glass 2 hurt me twice.
All right, so for me, for Glass 2, I gave it 2 thumbs up on the nose. I said it had big vanilla and oak. Although, that was at the beginning. As I took some more time with these two, they started to merge into one.
They did.
And they started to smell almost identical.
I agree.
It was like a coin flip.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to actually walk away for a while and then come back. And then I could detect the big vanilla and oak in Glass 1, or I'm sorry, the big vanilla and oak in Glass 2 versus more of the caramel apple sweetness in Glass 1.
Mm-hmm.
On the palate, I said that Glass 2 went a little nutty with a big sugary note and a lot of caramel vanilla sweetness. I give it 2 thumbs up. On the flavors, for me personally, Glass 2 tastes like typical, classic, traditional Kentucky bourbon, just cranked up to 17.
Gives you that Kentucky
It goes
hug.
way past 11 and it goes all the way to 17. And then experience, I gave it 2 thumbs up.
Oh my gosh.
2 thumbs up across the board here in tasting.
Gina.
I know. On the first impressions, I don't think I said this, but Glass 2 struck me as being so oily and coating on the palate versus Glass 1. Mm-hmm. Glass 1 was really good, don't get me wrong, but Glass 2 was just so oily and coating. It had a big oaky finish that lingers. It's a stage 5 clinger.
It does linger.
It is a stage 5 clinger. But these are both really good. As far as I'm concerned, my preference was to Glass 2. It sounds like your preference might fall more towards Glass 1?
Maybe Glass 1, but honestly, it's hard, like, I don't know. It's not a clear cut. They're both high proof. If they're not high proof, I would be shocked.
Oh, I'd be stunned if these are under 120.
I probably, if I had to pick one, Glass 1.
I wouldn't be surprised if both of these are over 125, if not over 130.
I think
They're both up there.
I think I like the flavor of Glass 2 better, but the overall experience of Glass 1 better. And I really rate experience high on my list.
Yeah, and I tend to rate flavor higher.
Yeah.
This was a fun head-to-head, for sure, and in many ways positive and negative for both of us, apparently.
It was interesting.
But let's find out what they are. It's reveal time, guys. We're going to find out how much these cost first.
Okay.
And then we're going to find out what the pours are. You'll see us react to both of those things.
All right. What we got?
Glass 1 is number 22. And glass 2 is number 23. Move my scoring out of the way here.
Okay.
So glass 1, 22, price. Don't click the button to tell us what the product is yet.
The price is $90.
Wow. What's glass 2?
$50.
And we both preferred the cheaper product.
Well, I kind of said glass 1.
Oh, sorry.
But it was
I got
close.
lost in the sauce there.
It was close.
It was close. This was very close.
Yeah.
So
remember I said I like the flavor of glass 2 better, but the overall experience of glass 1.
Yeah, and that is where it comes into the case of like maybe a couple drops of water in glass 1 would tame it down enough to make it more enjoyable for you. But 90 versus 50. But if it's
$90,
as much of a tightwad as you are.
If it's $90, I don't want to have to put a couple drops of water in it to like it better.
That's fair. For this to be $50, I'm very happy with that.
I'm surprised for as much flavor and as much like Kentucky Hug as I got with that one. I would have thought that was way more expensive.
Yeah. I'm really surprised.
Okay, do you want to find out what they actually
are? What are these?
Okay.
I'm so very shocked already by the price.
22 is the $90 one.
Yep.
That's Booker's. 127.9 proof.
Okay, that proof checks out. The assault checks out.
Yeah.
But what's this one?
Knob Creek Single Barrel. 120 proof. Is that like a readily available product? I mean, for $50. For $50, if I have to be honest with you, because they were so close, I would pick the $50 one to drink over the $90 one because they weren't like,
wow.
One wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is way my favorite and this is horrible. So when the Booker's comes out, it's a limited release, but are they hard to get as well?
No, typically stores will put them out on the shelves.
Okay.
Based on the blind tasting, call it $90 to $100, comes out 3 times a year, and you got to hunt around for it a little bit.
So I did say I preferred this one overall with the experience, but for the price and the availability limitations, I would say it's just okay on retail score.
What about consumer score? Are you buying Booker's again for 90 or $100?
So I'm giving it just okay on consumer score as well.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
For Booker's, for me, I'd say it's just okay on retail score. Price and availability. I mean, availability is definitely.
Yeah.
And then price, as it creeps up higher and higher.
It's not the worst price, but it's also not the best.
Yeah. I think I have to say just okay on Booker's too.
Yeah. It's like.
On the consumer score. So what do you give Glass 2 retail and consumer score? Where are you at there?
Well, so I'm assuming Knob Creek is very readily available. I know this is
While
a single
this
barrel.
is a single barrel store picks are readily available. Yes.
Okay. So then I'm going to give it a thumbs up on retail score for price and availability. $50. You can find a single barrel store pick anywhere in any store. Then yeah, it's a thumbs up.
And consumer score, would you buy this again or not?
For $50, if I was making yes, I give it a thumbs up because if I was making my own collection separate and apart from you, and I wanted something that was higher proof, but I'm not someone who wants to spend a lot of money on whiskey because it's not really my hobby. Like it's not as much of a hobby as it is for you. $50 is a good price point for me and I feel like you're getting a lot of proof, a lot of flavor, a lot of experience for $50. So thumbs up. So actually, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up.
On consumers?
On consumer score.
Wow.
Because
this might be a first for the channel.
For the price, $50 is a good, I feel like that is now like my baseline price.
Yeah.
And for what you're getting for $50, I feel like it's good.
You can get so much for $50.
I feel like this is really good. And if you want something Granted, I don't love high proof stuff, but I would want something in my collection. If I were making my own collection, I would want a high proof bourbon. That would be it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, for a lot of the same reasons, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth and you said it better than I could have, which is, pretty regular around here. That happens very frequently. But I would say for retail score for Knob Creek Single Barrel, I'd give it a thumbs up. I mean, $50 for 120 proof and being that good, it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
And then for consumer score, I'll give it a thumbs up. I'm not going to go quite 2 thumbs up. Although, man, it's hard. I almost want to say...
Don't let me influence you.
No, I'll give it a thumbs up on consumer score as well, because I'll replace it, but I'm not necessarily going to stock up on it. Maybe if I run across a pick that is exceptionally good, I might buy 2 or 3 bottles, and I actually have done that with Knob Creek store picks in the past. But more often than not, I'm going to try one, I'm going to enjoy it while we have it, and I'm going to grab the next Knob Creek store pick to see how it differs.
Yeah.
I've said it before in various formats that Knob Creek single barrel store picks are a FOMO killer. For $50, it's hard to beat this value. Between this and Rare Breed, there's... I mean, in 1920, Old Forester 1920, if you like big proof, it's hard to beat these. We score on a 10-point scale for our real-world scores, but it's not your traditional 10-point scale. Think of it more like a bell curve. Most things fall in that middle 4 to 6 point range. The less or more exceptional it is for us, the lower or higher it scores on that scale. Yep. The further away it gets from that midpoint. We
get our real-world scores by adding up the thumbs you see on the screen in front of you. Thumbs down, we don't like it.
No points.
Just okay, we can take it or leave it.
You get a half a point for that.
We like it, thumbs up.
1 point for that.
2 thumbs up, we really like it.
2 points for that. So, Erin, where are you at for Glass 1 on your real world score?
All right, so for my real world score for Glass 1, unfortunately, it got a 3.5, which honestly isn't that bad.
Yeah, it sounds like a really bad score when you're thinking on a 1 to 10 scale, but it's literally just outside of that midpoint range.
The midpoint range, which most things, like Josh said, most things fall in that midpoint range, and you can kind of interchange them. So it's just on the negative side of like being in that midpoint range.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, Glass 1 got a 6 out of 10, and that's right there on the high side of that midpoint range, but it's still in that middle grouping.
Yeah.
So 6 out of 10, pretty good score. Not quite exceptional, but still good.
But still good.
Where are you at for Glass 2?
So for me, for Glass 2, it got a 5. So right smack dab in the middle, solid pour, and honestly, the price and availability helped that for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that matters to us.
That matters to me, and it matters to us, but it also matters to me a lot. So I weigh that very heavily. Yeah.
For me, Glass 2 got an 8 out of 10. And
whoa,
that is pushing into, that's pushing right into the exceptional range.
Yeah.
That 7 to 9 range, you're starting to get really exceptional. And the fact that these picks are so readily available in our market and really good flavor, a bunch of punch from the proof, all that stuff adds up for it to be a really exceptional product for me. So the 8 out of 10 and the 6 out of 10s for these 2 products respectively, I feel like accurately reflect and also accurately reflect my feelings on these 2 glasses, even if I weren't tasting them blind.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have the blind tasting to back you up on what you believe to be true, separate and apart from any bottles or hype or anything like that. So what have we learned?
What have we learned?
And who are these for?
Who are these for?
If you like high proof
drinkers,
then you owe it to yourself to try one or both of these, I think. Obviously, it makes sense to start out on this one because it's half the price.
Right.
But if you try a Knob Creek store pick and you really like it, maybe pick up a Booker's.
Yeah.
The batches are going to vary, just like the Knob Creek single barrel store picks are going to vary. And it's a lot of fun to play around. You can live in this space right here, to be honest with you. You can live in the Knob Creek 120 proof store pick plus Booker's space and have the same distillery and see how they all compare and contrast each other.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. If you like head-to-heads like this and you want to get involved, you can check the video description below and see the link to our Patreon channel where we offer blind tasting kits. You get 8 sample jars, you get our scoring rubrics, you get the whole thing. We talk with you through it all. We tailor the experience to your palate. It's a lot of fun. We really enjoy doing that. There's a lot of other things there too. You can join the community, get involved, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's down there. Check it out. Also, check our video description below to see when our next live stream is. We live stream once a month. There's usually some type of topic, some type of theme that we're hitting on. And then we have a little bit of like a happy hour hangout after the fact.
They're so fun. You should join us. Thank you for watching today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Hit that like button. Also subscribe, because most of you aren't subscribed, and that's a crying shame.
Till next week, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. That was good. I am very hungry. Can you make me some food now? Please.